Keanu Reeves had always been a figure admired for his down-to-earth nature and his genuine compassion, but even he didn't realize the profound impact his visit to a hospital would have on one child's life, and how it would change his own journey forever. It all began when a letter arrived at Keanu's office. It wasn't an ordinary fan letter, but rather a heartfelt plea from the mother of a young boy named Ethan. Ethan had been diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and despite the treatment, his condition had taken a turn for the worse. Doctors had given him little time left, but there was one thing that kept his spirit alive: his dream of meeting Keanu Reeves. Ethan had been watching Keanu's films since he could remember. His favorite movie was The Matrix, where Keanu's character Neo was a symbol of hope and resilience. The young boy had often imagined himself in Neo's shoes, fighting against the odds, defying expectations, and ultimately winning. But, as time went on, Ethan realized that his own battle was a much tougher fight. Still, his love for Keanu never wavered. In his hospital room, surrounded by medical equipment, he would lie there, dreaming of the day he might meet the actor, a moment that would be more than just a meeting. It would be a symbol of hope, a reason to keep fighting. His mother, desperate to make her son's last wish come true, reached out to Keanu's team, not expecting much. But Keanu, after reading the letter, couldn't bring himself to ignore it. He couldn't help but be moved by Ethan's courage. Without hesitation, he decided to pay a visit, hoping to bring a moment of joy to the boy's life, no matter how fleeting it might be. The day of the visit arrived. Keanu walked into the children's ward of the hospital, wearing his trademark simple black jacket and a kind smile. His heart fluttered as he saw the faces of the young patients, each battling their own fight, their eyes filled with a mix of fear and hope. But his gaze soon landed on Ethan's room, where the boy lay, pale and fragile. Ethan's mother stood by the door, watching Keanu approach. "You must be Ethan," Keanu said as he entered, his voice warm and genuine. Ethan blinked, still unsure if what he was seeing was real. "Keanu Reeves?" he whispered, his voice a fragile echo. Keanu knelt beside the bed, his eyes full of compassion. "Yeah, that's me. I heard you've been a big fan," he said, smiling warmly at Ethan. The boy's face lit up in disbelief. I can't believe it. You're here for me?" Keanu nodded, taking a seat beside him. "Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. You're an inspiration, Ethan." As the two spoke, Keanu learned about Ethan's battle with cancer, his favorite movies, and his dream of becoming a hero like the ones he saw on screen. Despite the pain, Ethan remained hopeful, his spirit unwavering. He spoke of his desire to fight, not just for his own life, but for the lives of others. "I want to be like Neo," he said, his voice filled with determination. "I want to save people. I want to do something important." Keanu was moved. The boy's strength mirrored the resilience of his own characters. They talked for hours, laughing and sharing stories. It was a moment of pure connection, one that transcended the barriers of illness. But just as Keanu was about to leave, something strange happened. Ethan's heart monitor began to beep erratically. The smile on his face faded, and he clutched his chest in pain. Keanu, startled, looked toward the door, and the room quickly filled with doctors and nurses. Panic spread through the sterile room as Ethan's mother screamed, her face pale with terror. Keanu stood frozen, unsure of what to do, his mind racing. He wanted to help, but he didn't know how. For what felt like hours, doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize Ethan. Keanu stood in the corner, helpless but determined to stay by the boy's side. As the commotion died down, the room fell silent. Ethan was unconscious, his fragile body fighting against the odds. The doctor pulled Keanu aside. "We've done all we can for now," the doctor said somberly. "He's in a critical condition. We don't know how much longer he has." Keanu's heart broke. He had come to bring joy to a boy who had lost so much, but now it seemed that he might lose him altogether. Standing by Ethan's bed, Keanu placed a hand on his shoulder. "I'm not going anywhere," he whispered. That night, Keanu stayed in the hospital. He didn't leave. And in the quiet hours, he did something he never thought he'd do. He prayed. He prayed for Ethan's strength, for his family, for a miracle. The next morning, something extraordinary happened. Ethan's condition stabilized, and his eyes fluttered open. His mother, still shocked, rushed to his side. "Ethan, you're awake!" The boy smiled weakly. "Did I really meet Keanu Reeves?" he whispered, his voice raspy. Keanu, who had been standing by the door, walked over to the bed. He smiled down at Ethan. Years later, Ethan would grow up to become a philanthropist, using his story and his experiences to inspire others. He worked alongside cancer research organizations, sharing his journey with the world. And though Keanu had no idea, his kindness had not only changed a life, but had sparked a movement that continued to save lives long after that fateful hospital visit. In the end, Keanu Reeves learned that sometimes the people we help are the ones who end up teaching us the most. Through Ethan's courage and strength, Keanu was reminded of his own power to make a difference, no matter how small the gesture might seem, and it was a lesson he would carry with him for the rest of his life.